Genesis chapter 2 verse 15. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and keep it. We've seen how God on day 6 made man and woman, the land, animals, other animals, and etc. Right? Then the creation of the Sabbath, the ordination of the Sabbath as a resting day to glorify God, and then coming back here in chapter 2 to a more detailed explanation of the making of man, how God created man. So we've seen then that God put Adam most likely on some other hill or mountain. Then he made Eden, the garden, to show him, to teach him the lesson how to follow God's example in learning how to till this land. Okay, and so now what God is doing is now He's putting him in Adam in the Garden of Eden, and He's showing him now. And now He gives him the task. He needs to keep it. He needs to work it, right? And he needs to keep it. He needs to till the land. He needs to take care of the garden. We already spoke about nature conservation, the importance for Christians to take care of nature. We were given the task not to destroy nature, but to take care of it and to work it. And this is what we see then in verse 16. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, You may surely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For on the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. Okay. Here God tells man that there's one tree that you're not supposed to eat of. Okay, but God doesn't start with saying, there's a tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Don't eat of it. Bad if you eat of it. You'll die if you eat of it. No, God said, you may surely eat of every tree of the garden. Like every tree. Not just one or two trees. Every tree. All the trees in the garden are for food, except for one. Okay? It is a little bit like if you tell your children to, you can give them absolutely everything, and then one day you just sort of don't give them the one thing they sort of want, then they would come back to you and say, you never give us anything, right? Yeah, it works like that for us as humans, but God is not giving, He's giving everything to them to eat, everything. And in Eve's answer to the serpent, we're going to see that she downplayed that. God gave everything. Again, He's not stingy. He provided. But there's one thing. The tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. Okay, here as well I will make an extra video just concerning this idea, the question of God God is all-knowing, omniscient, in other words. God knew before they ate of the tree that they're going to eat of it. So why create a tree? Why not create a tree? Then they could not sin. Then all would be good. So ultimately the question therefore implies that God is bad by making the tree, and that we are then pointing fingers. God, you are the guilty one, like Adam and Eve is going to do after they sin. God, you are the guilty one. You made the snake. You gave the woman to me, kind of idea. Right? It's still so normal for us to these days to blame God for everything. Something goes bad, wrong, God gets the blame. Something goes good, we are the reason it all goes good. It's normal. You are just like Adam. Nothing. It doesn't matter if you are white skin or black skin. It doesn't matter if you're man, male or female. It doesn't matter if you're Russian or Ukrainian or Thai or Burmese or whatever. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, we all like to rather point fingers and blame other people for our mistakes. Okay, so, but we will get back to this idea. But remember just now already, God did not hide knowledge. The tree was not to hide knowledge, to keep people stupid so they could do nothing. Right? That was not the idea of it. Why? Because I've already mentioned in other verses that God clearly, before He made Adam, He made the Garden of Eden. He showed him the Garden of Eden. Okay, so God taught people. He gave knowledge. We've seen in chapter 1, God made something, He called it good. So God taught people what is good. So knowledge and moral knowledge and knowledge in general is something that God was already from his side imparting to people, to us as humanity. So God wasn't taking it away or keeping it away from us. But the problem lies in the fact that God wanted to give it. We were supposed to trust him in his time to give it to us and not take it and us becoming the gods. We had to trust our Father. But ultimately, as we're going to see, we didn't. And that is a problem. God is not the problem. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil is not the evil tree. God is not evil by making it. We took it. Okay? Simple example. If you're going to build an atomic bomb and destroy a city of Nagasaki or Hiroshima to stop a war, ultimately you are the one who used it for destruction. And if you're going to build an atomic energy station of it to make electricity so that people can have light, and at light there can be electricity in a hospital so they can save lives, right? It's a good thing which we can use as bad. It doesn't make God evil. It makes us the problem again. But I will do another specific video just on the idea of why ultimately God did create or plant this tree.